Nigeria has a whole lot of culture and tradition, and Nigeria is blessed with tribes with deep cultures. And we will be looking at a tribe today, which is Yoruba. Yoruba tribe is deep, and we will be looking at one of Yoruba culture that they value most, and we'll be looking at their attire, which is ADIRE.
ADIRE was for a very long time a principal method of textile dyeing amongst the Yoruba. However, the availability of brightly colored imported fabrics has led to a decline in its production because it is highly labor-intensive and requires a level of persistent pursuit which is difficult to sustain in a country where poverty is rising sharply.
We will explain how ADIRE was loved by other nations and how ADIRE is now growing globally. ADIRE is coined from two words, which is adi, that means to tie, and which the second is re, which is to dye, meaning dyeing something, maybe a cloth and all. ADIRE started from Abeokuta, which is a city under the rock, from a family called Jojola, which started with a woman called Yalode Sumano. ADIRE is an art itself that speaks about the culture and the tradition of Yoruba people. Even sometimes, ADIRE can be designed as plant, animal, traditional culture, and it speaks about the day-to-day activities of the people. ADIRE is not just an object or is not just an attire, but it is a communication of the art of Yoruba, and this is why ADIRE is loved by the world. In the olden days, the indigo dye is gotten from a particular leaf, which is called a elu plant, and this is made through grinding of the elu plant and mixed with ashes and water, and after some days it's going to form the dye.
The Yoruba word for this pot, and also for the water that runs through it, is oluba. Tasting the dye or letting it run through her fingers, observing its color and feeling its consistency. The dye remains active for about 5 days, after which more indigo balls.
There are different techniques in making ADIRE, and one of the ancient techniques is ADIRE eleko, which means cassava starch making. This technique is a restricted dyeing process where cassava starch with feathers of chicken or bird is used to make design on the fabric to create a particular design. This design can be the design of plant, animal, or even a king. This is one of the most expensive techniques and most expensive pattern in ADIRE making. Another technique that is used in the ancient time is ADIRE. ADIRE is the stitching of the raffle or thread onto the fabric in order to form a particular style or pattern prior to the dyeing. After the dyeing, this raffle or thread will be removed and the pattern will show. Now, ADIRE is also different from oniko. Oniko is another process which is the tying of the raffle. Don't forget, the ADIRE is the stitching to form pattern, but oniko is the tying of the raffle with a corn kernel or stone or anything that can be used to tie the fabric in order to form a particular pattern which the craftsman wants to form. This process is the ancient process, but because of the new techniques and because of how the world have been revolving, now there is a new technique called the alabella, and the alabella means the wax method. This is a process where wax is used to draw patterns on the fabric in order to get a particular design according to the designer. The another method which is common in the ancient time is ADIRE onibatani. This is applying cassava paste or starch to a textiles on a fabric in order to form a particular design. Hold on, please subscribe if you like this content. Subscribe by encouraging us. Now let's go back to the wonderful story of ADIRE. Another new method is the bastic stamping. This is a process where a design will have been drawn by the designer on a stamp or cut on a foam in order to stamp it on a fabric to show the kind of design which the designer wants. And there have been a lot of innovation in producing other chemicals that have been used in making ADIRE now, like sulfide, caustic soda, and any kind of dye you want to use, maybe black, blue, or red. But there have been one or two challenges that these ADIRE making and the makers have been facing, like importing fake product from China to Nigeria and from other places, and these have made ADIRE very cheap, and it has not been so profitable for the ADIRE makers. Looking at the stress and the hard work these men and women will go through, and they have been cheated because of the fake product that have been bought from other countries. ADIRE is one of the Yoruba attire that cannot be eradicated all over the world, and I will be getting myself one of the ADIRE, especially the eleko, because it shows the culture and the tradition of Nigeria, especially the Yoruba land. And will you be getting one too?